So here you go, Nike in the house. Righty. So I hope you can see me as well. We're going to start in a second. So thanks for joining in, guys, and we're going to talk about something very important to most of you. So yeah, keep tapping the screen like crazy so we can get this show on the road. Wow, I look like I'm heaven or something, isn't it? It's a bit like pretty bright. Brazil in the house, first comment. Awesome, here we go. So before we start, guys, first of all, the best thing is we just take 1 minute to introduce each other because I know your time is valuable, so is mine. Therefore, just write in the word new where you're from and maybe write your name next to it, and then I can shout you out. Beauty files earlier were, yeah, I did a scope where I saw like probably all supercars in London. It was just the one I did before this one, so maybe you like that one as well. Megan from London in the house. Hey Megan, how are you doing? Hello from Guapo, Texas in the house, UK. Musty from Newcastle. Wow, oh, everyone in the UK is here. Bianca from New Jersey. So there you go. Okay, so my name is Marc Dressen. I'm a personal trainer, fitness coach, experts. In the last 20 years, I've trained over 15,000 people. I write for magazines like Men's Health and Women's Fitness. I ran a gym for 8 years. I've got a master's degree in sports science, and I'm here on Periscope to give you like the latest trends and tips on fitness, health, and diet. There you go, that was my little pitch. Now if you feel like you want to share this with your friends, this scope, you know, on an Apple device, swipe left to right, or no, that was Apple right up on an Android, and hit the share button so you can get as much as people into this scope, because this is going to be a very valuable, very valuable scope to you guys. It's going to be 3 tips I'm going to give you to show you how the 3 things you need to know to get a killer physique, okay? And yeah. So, by the way, tapping the screen, giving me hearts will also make this whole scope rank higher, therefore more people will have the chance to get this. So, exactly, tap, 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 there you go. Okay, right, now before we get started, I just want to know, who of you wants to know what do you need to do to get a killer physique? If you want to know that, type in the number 1, and we'll see if we get enough number 1s. We'll start off with the first tip. Okay, here we go, 1, 1, 1, there you go. 1, me, 1. I'm Team Heart. Okay, there you go, guys. 2, so you don't want to know. That's fine. Okay, guys, here we go. Tip number 1, we start straight away. Now, you probably heard. Now, all the numbers are coming up. Okay, first thing you need to know is something, and you probably heard of that, no pain, no gain, right? Now, first of all, this is a myth. We need to kick that out the window. It has nothing to do with you feeling sore while you work out, because I'll just give you a quick reason for that, and that is because as you keep pushing weights, your muscle soreness will go up, and that is just lactic acid filling into your muscle, and that will not really help with muscle growth. So getting bigger, getting a nice physique has nothing to do with feeling, you know, the pain while you actually do the workouts. So sometimes if the soreness is too high because it's acid, will actually have will be counterproductive to what you actually want to achieve. So the key here is, the number 1 thing you need to know, guys, is called progressive overload. Now, what does that mean? Can someone type in the word progressive overload so we all know what we're talking about? Just type in progressive overload and I'll talk about what that is. This is tip number 1 to get bigger, get a killer physique, guys. Progressive overload, that's it. Now, progressive overload is basically that you, over a certain period of time while you train, gradually increase your weight you're lifting. And it's very important that you do that over a certain period of time. It just means progressive means, you know, you increase over a certain period of time, and overload means that, you know, you don't stay at that sort of weight. So let's say you do deadlifts or you do a bench press, whatever you do, you start off with a certain weight, and then over the next 12 weeks, you keep progressing. Every week, you will add on a little bit more weight. That is a very important step to get bigger, stronger, and leaner, guys. Because if you don't do that, you will at one point just, you know, stagnate, and you will hit a plateau and won't get any better. Does that make sense? Does anyone know what progressive overload means so far? If yes, give me like a thumbs up emoji. Keep tapping the hearts as well. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. So that's tip number 1. And we've got 3 tips today. Let's type in the word, what should we type in? Polar. Okay, polar. Type in the word polar if you want to know the second tip. Anyone wants to know the second tip? Come on, yellow hearts. There you go. Pola. So a couple of you guys, there you go. Pola, Pola, Pola. You want to know the second tip? Brilliant. Okay. So now increasing your weight is good, but you now are probably asking, someone wrote in hypertrophy training, isn't that better? Well, hypertrophy training is normally in a rep range of something 8 to 12 reps with something around, 75% of your 1 rep max, sorry, 1 RM. That's sort of where you're working with hypertrophy, but it actually shows to increase your size. It's even better if you work, and this is tip number 2, guys, if you just work in the rep range 4 to 6, so 4 reps to 6 reps with 80 to 85% of your maximum lift. Okay, that's tip number 2. That will increase your strength and muscle growth rapidly. You will pack on more muscle than you even would with hypertrophy training. 3 things: eat well, exercise, don't sit down for more than 15 minutes. Lunchpreneurs, there you go. Something like that. So first thing is progressive overload. Make sure that you progress over time. And how should you be doing that? Second tip, and this is important, guys, is that you work in this rep range 4 to 6 with 80 to 85% of your maximum 1 max rep. Okay? I've got a twist in my tongue today. Does that make sense so far? Okay, good. If you think this is valuable so far, you can swipe to left to right on Apple or up on Android and hit the share button. Invite some more followers in here, because now comes tip number 3, which is probably the most important one. So if you really want to know tip number 3, we need to get like 120 people in here. So make sure we can invite some more people so the numbers go back up, and then I'm going to share the 3rd tip with you. To failure? No, not to failure. You don't want to train to failure, guys. This is the first thing. Well, I'm going to talk about the failure one in a second. What's going on? Annie, we're not sharing the scope, guys. What's going on? You don't want to hear the 3rd tip? Okay. Anyway, I'll share it with you. So tip number 3, and this is probably one of the most important ones, is recovery time. So what you want to make sure is that you recover properly between your sets, between your days. And the thing is, if you really train to a certain extent where your body gets, fully fatigued or after a training, then it says, and research shows it takes between 2 to 6 days for your body to recover sometimes from a very, very strong and intense workout. Depends on your trainings level, your fitness level, where you're at, your genetics. There are loads of things which are involved with recovery time, but generally speaking, if you feel like the workout you've done in the gym, if you feel like the next day when you wake up, oh, you know what, I can do that again, then you're probably not having the right intensity. Like I said, like the 4 to 6 range, the reps with that, yeah, no, we don't. That is very important, okay, guys? So, now someone said train to fatigue. This is something I was just talking about at the very beginning of the scope, which was about, training to failure, training to, you heard about these drop sets, or, train to muscle fatigue. The reason why we don't want to do it is because what it basically does, it releases lactic acid into your muscle, and lactic acid is something where your muscle will, you cringe, and you will get cramps and stuff like that, because it's your muscle telling you, you know what, I can't do it anymore. And if you push over that limit, you will actually release hormones which are catabolic rather than anabolic, which means they will sort of break down muscle tissue and not build muscle tissue. Okay, so I hope that makes sense so far. Now, these were my 3 tips. I hope you liked them so far. Now let's take like 2 or 3 questions regarding this topic, and then we'll hit it. We'll keep it short and simple, because I know your time is valuable and I want to give you the most, tips in a shorter period of amount of time. Good. Very helpful. Good. Awesome. Any questions regarding this topic so far? Marc, why did you contact me? Cardio, good for laying out. What's my Instagram? Instagram is Marc Dressen. You just go into Instagram, type in my name, Marc Dressen, you find me there. So how do you know what you need to use to get results from only 4 to 6 reps? So how do you know which weight you should be using? It is 80 to 85% of your 1 rep max, which means the weight you can maximum push 1 time. Now there are tests how to do that. Now the reason being why it's sometimes dangerous for beginners is because you might not do the form right and stuff, therefore you might injure yourself. But what you can do, just go onto the internet, Google 1 rep max tests, because you can also, let's say, a weight you can maximum push 3 times. You can sort of calculate. There are calculators online which tell you how much your 1 rep max is. Once you know that, you can take 85% of that, and that's going to be the one you're going to use for 4 to 6 reps. Now, in terms of feeling, the feeling you should get is that when you lift 4 to 6 reps, God, I missed that one. Did I get it? Yes, I got you. Bye-bye, my friend. The feeling you should get from lifting 4 to 6 times is sort of that the 5th or 6th times you're going to lift that weight, it shouldn't feel easy doing these 4 to 6 reps. You're just pumping them out like easy, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the next one comes. That's not how it should feel. You should really, it does feel a bit like a struggle. It feels like you're actually really doing some work there. It will be something which might even be uncomfortable. If you do squats, for example, 4 to 6 with the 80 to 85%, you will get off. You might struggle getting up on the 5th or the 6th one. You might even need someone who assists you and helps you, because that is sort of the impact that weight training needs to have. If you don't have that, then guys, you're not going to go bigger, stronger, and leaner. You won't lose any fat. You can spend hours on cardio machines. That's not going to hit it, my friends. Any tips on becoming a big-time personal trainer? Fancy degrees required? Well, to be honest, that's a bit off topic, but I've got a master's degree in sports science. You can become a personal trainer, and this is really sad in the UK, just by filling out an online questionnaire, really, over a 3 weeks period, and you can call yourself a personal trainer. So that's why I always recommend check out your personal trainers, check their backgrounds, check the people they've worked with, because that is what potentially makes a very successful personal trainer, if that makes sense. Okay, 2 more questions regarding this topic, and then we're going to hit it for today. Good old UK. I know, Megan. That is very sad. How many rounds? Sets, you mean? Probably 4 to 5 sets per rep. Per exercise, I mean. Will weightlifting bulk me? I'm a woman. Good question. Now, generally speaking, for women, I don't know if you know that, but women are lower in testosterone, which is a hormone which will be released and is very much involved in building muscle or packing on muscle and size. Now, as a woman, it is very, very hard to actually get bulky. Now, the thing is, to get as a woman to sort of build strength and lean down, what you do want to do, and this is very important, is that if you follow these 3 steps I just shared with you, you will get bigger, but you want to at the same time make sure you watch your food intake, because you want to, as your muscle grows and your fat stays the same, you will get bigger in terms of size. You will look bigger. So what you want to do is you want to build muscle, but at the same time the fat on top should shrink down. Therefore, you will look leaner, you will look more, in shape, tighter skin. You will, get some muscle definition. That is what you want as a woman. So, therefore, you don't be afraid as a woman to pick up weights, guys, girls. That's my last tip for today. Now, if I haven't come around to answer your question, guys, then the first thing you need to do is you just follow me on Twitter, or hit me up on Twitter. Just Marc Dressen PT is my Twitter handle, and you can basically ask me any questions. I will definitely respond to every single one. It might take some time because I'm getting a lot of you guys asking me questions, but that's what I will do. And yeah. Parry 10K, whatever that means, lunchpreneurs. Sounds good. I'm going to be part of it, hopefully. Thank you very much, guys. And yeah, I'll see you soon in the next scope. And yeah, probably tomorrow. So I'll try to upload this one onto YouTube. The other one's failed so far. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button and hit also the subscribe button. Other than that, I wish you the best, the very best.